Is there dev map mode? There is, but it's not called a dev map mode. It's called a population. Population map mode. Shortcut key O. There's Pella, our capital. Rome's got quite a few over here. Pretty big. 52 pop. Egypt is very highly populated. 60, 46, 40, 25. Do the mercenaries share your tech level? I don't know, actually. Let's stockpile some money. We'll experiment just for fun. I haven't actually ever hired mercs. I haven't needed them. Unless I'm going like balls to the wall, no CB wars, just attacking everyone sitting on -2 stab with my play wide play style. I've never had any issue with manpower. Crap, I just spent the money that I was supposed to be saving. Whoops. Can you go raid people for other slaves and goodies? Soon. We don't have the tech for it yet. We've taken 2 traditions. We've got Veterans of the Great Campaign and Proud Shipwrights. We need 2 more to get the ability to raid ports. And that'll also give us an extra 20% enslavement efficiency, which if you look right here, you can see we have a base enslavement efficiency of 5. So gaining 20% enslavement efficiency does not mean you get 20% more slaves. It means you get 5 times as many slaves if you have a base of 5, right? It's a lot of slaves, man. Ooh, national citizen output +5. That's more tech. Sounds good. Does this game give an ahead of time tech penalty? It does. We're currently 29 years ahead of time on tech, but the way that the math works. All right, let's see if we can figure this out. The monthly increase of 2.32 is due to the following factors. Base 1.39 comes from that right there, which is based on our research efficiency ratio. Okay? But I believe what we're seeing is additive math. Okay? Pull out your calculators. So even though we're ahead of time by 29 years, what's happening is 100% base price, then we're getting it. We're growing faster than normal by 5, plus 5, plus 90, plus 5 equals 205%. So that, divided by 100 times 1.39, means that if there were no ahead of tech penalty, we'd be earning 2.85 per month, right? 2.8% per month. But because of the ahead of time penalty, I don't think it's being multiplied in multiplicatively. Let me check. 2.8495 times 0.614 would put us at 1.75. But we're not getting 1.75. We're getting 100% base plus 5 plus 5 plus 90 plus 5 minus 38.6 divided by 100 times the base 1.39 equals 2.32. Okay. Did anyone follow that math? Because I did, but I think maybe I did it too fast. I did just prove that the ahead of time penalty is additive with other multipliers. So the ahead of time penalty is minor. Like, it's not a big deal. When you already have a 200% ahead of time, like a 200% multiplier to your tech speed, and then you tack on an additive 40% reduction to speed, you are not losing 40% research speed. You're only losing 20%. Right? I don't even think it's a rounding error. It's just the way Paradox loves doing their additive math. Even in EU4, the ahead of time penalty is additive with all other tech cost modifiers. Right? All right, so someone had a question earlier about mercs. They wanted to know if mercs took your tech. You need to have at least 2 times the disband cost of 168 ducats for all mercs, including this one, in the bank to sign up mercenaries. All right, fine. Maybe we could find a smaller stack, or we could just stockpile some cash. Hire the bigger one. Is tech really as important as it is in EU4? I would say probably. I mean, like, let's say we were to attack Rome right now. We know that they're on Martial Advance 1. We know that with our current tech at 3, we've got Morale of Armies plus 0.3, and they have only Morale of Armies plus 0.1. So our base Morale of Armies is 3.3, while theirs is 3.1. Pretty significant. It's not maybe as impactful as like Tech 3 to Tech 4 or Tech 6 to Tech 7, that kind of thing. But if you stockpile them all, I mean, it really does start to add up. How do tribes balance out the tech advantage of southern countries? Tribes are kind of weak. They don't have as much, they don't have as large of these monthly bonuses, so they get fewer monarch points. The size of this bonus that you get for having your active bonus is dependent upon the size of your, right here, it took me a long time to find this. Number of cities you own is what determines the size of your country, not population. City-states have only one city. Local powers are 2 to 24. Regional powers are 25 to 99. And then if you look at your country here, you can see your city count. We have 49 cities. So we are right in the middle of regional power. If we wanted to get more monarch points per month, we'd have to go up to 100 cities, and even higher if we were a great power at 500 cities. Right, I think we were maybe considering, someone wanted to know if with mercs, if the mercs were going to have, like, our tech. Seems like a huge waste of resources, but I am kind of curious about the answer. So they have a 184% merc maintenance because of why? I don't see like a list to our overall multipliers or anything. I can't figure out exactly why it's 184% merc maintenance. Save and load. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so mercs are always loyal to their commander, which you can see with that little hand. Mercs that are right, actually any troop that's loyal, about 5 lines from the bottom in that tooltip, it says improved discipline from personal loyalty 10%. So if you're comparing it to like EU4, where mercs have infinite manpower, loyalty is, again, not specific to mercs, but loyalty is pretty important. 10% bonus discipline is pretty big. So they currently have 1.08 morale max. Our units have 0.42. The difference is because we currently have army maintenance at decreased pay minus 80. So minus 80% morale of armies. And then beyond that, we've got lack of general minus 25. So altogether, we've got 8 minus 80 plus 10 minus 25 equals negative 87% max morale. They have a general. We could test it by just getting our own general. Our max morale is 0.42 out of 1.25, while their max morale is only out of 1.08. In the tooltip there, it says the max morale of 1.08 depends on base and then martial advances. Oh, he's got a bad trait. So I think that answers the question though, right? Because you can actually see in the tooltip, martial advances plus 0.3 is the same as our army, which has martial advances plus 0.3. So yeah. So yeah, the answer is yes, they take your tech. As far as like why I'm building Cav, I think that Cav are the strongest unit type, personally, based on my experience. I mean, not in all circumstances, but when you compare them, I guess let's take a moment here to just compare unit types. Like, why do I prefer Cav? Well, Unfortunately, we chose to play tall, so we haven't been in any battles or wars or anything, so it's hard to really explain this if you haven't seen it at all. But let's compare, like, okay, archers, 4 ducats to hire. Their maintenance price is based on the higher price, so 0.15 ducats, 4 ducats up front. Light infantry cost 4 ducats up front, 0.15 per month. You can clearly see that the maintenance price is not tied to anything other than higher price. You go down further and you look at, like, the light cav, they cost 50% more, they cost 50% more in maintenance. So, kind of like in EU4 where you're comparing infantry to cav and manpower efficiency, it's 1,000 manpower regardless of whether you're hiring light infantry or archers or heavy cavalry, or you could be hiring war elephants and it's still 1,000 manpower. So the cavalry cost 50% more in maintenance, but look at this. Army movement speed of 2. Light infantry have army movement speed of 2. To the best of my testing, army movement speed does directly transfer into how fast they can move from point A to point B. And actually, I guess we should just test that. Let's... see how we've got the first Stratos moving to Edessa. 20 cohorts of light cav will arrive in Edessa on the 24th of September. The light, the archers will arrive on the 30th, and the heavy infantry will arrive on the 30th. So you can clearly, words, my god. You can clearly see that the movement speed does affect movement speed on the map. So unlike EU4, where they have the same movement speed, whether they're artillery, cavalry, or infantry, that movement speed's pretty significant. So they move twice as fast. Or rather, they have twice as much base movement speed. I'm assuming that that does actually translate into twice as fast. It's the 18th of September right now, so they're taking 6 days. Yeah, 6 days versus 12 days. So they're getting there in half the time. That's huge, huge mobility advantage. On top of that, they have a maneuver value of 3, while most units have a maneuver value of 1. Archers have a maneuver of 1. The heavy cav have maneuver of 2. Light infantry, maneuver of 1. The Raiden, the chariots are 1 maneuver. Heavy infantry, maneuver of 1. The highest is the horse archers. And so maneuver is just like in EU4. Okay, so if you have infantry, they can, at the beginning of the game, flank by 1 tile. So if they're attacking somebody, they can hit the unit across from them, they can hit the unit to the left of them, and the unit to the right of them. That's as far as they can go. In vanilla EU4, cavalry start off with a maneuver value of 2, so they can hit the guy in front of them, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. So when you're comparing these small little pitched battles in Imperator, if you had to choose between an archer who can only hit the guy in front of him and the guy to the left or right, or some cav that can actually hit already with a maneuver value of 3, if you're talking about like a, I don't know, let's just say a 6 versus 10 regiment engagement, then you could have massive flanking damage from the horse artillery. Horse artillery. Words, man. I really like light cav. I think they're very, very strong, and I also like the tactics that you can employ with them. You can use skirmishing, you can use envelopment, you can even use phalanx or bottleneck. Like, all of them work pretty well with cav. That's why I train so many. Yeah, right, words, huh?
Mahapajit, Mapajahit, Mahajapit, Majahapit, Mapajahit, Mahapajit.
Does speed matter if you have other regiments in the army? Great question. I believe it will take the average of all units, or possibly maybe make them move at the slowest speed. Let's do this. We'll grab the... Let's grab some of these guys. That's our test client, and we'll tell everyone else to go there. They are moving at the speed of the slowest unit. That's really interesting. Makes sense, because just because you have light cav doesn't mean that the archers can somehow go faster. But still, That does mean that if you're going to have an army with light cav in it and you're trying to prioritize the movement speed advantage, you need to keep slower units out. So just out of curiosity, what unit types could we pair? Movement speed of 4, 3, 2, 3. Horse archers. Basically, horse archers is the only other one that can move as fast. Which makes sense. Horses on horses, right? Some light cav and some horse archers together could move super fast. The problem with light cav is they do minus 50% damage to heavy infantry. Okay, but if the enemy is fielding heavy infantry, then you can field your own light infantry at the very least to try to offset it a little bit. They still do less damage than heavy infantry, obviously, but they're so cheap and so fast, and you can siege stuff. It's a siege race game, is my experience. It's mostly about sieges. The battles are quick. Once they're done, then you just focus on sieges and positioning and being able to occupy their country quickly because you can swarm them with fast units. Works quite well. I mean, they can only support their army for so long, right? And also, if you go into debt, you get these penalties. Loyalty gain chance goes up by a ton. Power costs penalty, monthly loyalty penalty. There's random events that can fire every month. Desperate measures, deficit, tightening the strings. So if you occupy their whole country and they suddenly start losing money, it's the same thing as in EU4. You bankrupt them. You don't fight armies in this game. It's different with multiplayer, I'll give you that. In multiplayer, you gotta kill the army because the player will be smarter than an AI. But against the AI in EU4, you just ignore their army and win the sieges, and then eventually they go bankrupt and then they disband their army. So we're approaching Tech 4. We're still 2 techs ahead of most people. Well, in some cases we're ahead by nearly, 4 techs over the Seleucids, 4 techs over Phrygia. Our direct neighbor has no advances whatsoever, and we are on 3-4, 3-4. Not to mention, who knows how many inventions we have compared to him. I don't know if there's a way to tell how many inventions they've made. But I feel like we probably have more. Omen duration. Let's just take that primary culture happiness. Oh, right, attrition. I did not mean to send that army that way. 5% attrition a month. Hey, glad someone noticed that. Whoopsies. We have a disloyal character. Oh no! What will we do about this? Can you postpone tech, or does it continue automatically? You don't buy tech, you do just earn it over time. So right now we're currently at 263% research efficiency. We're nearing the cap. I think when you hit the cap is when you do need to start expanding. There's no reason to keep on converting pops into citizens if you're already at the cap. Because, I mean, at that point, every citizen you gain is effectively just costing you manpower or money. All right, so we're officially at oratory. All of our advances, we're on tech 4 at this point. Rome is on tech 1. Egypt's the only one that's trying to keep up. So that's a, what is that? Like 0.4 more base morale of armies. No, I feel...